You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a gorgeous Thursday afternoon here in New York City, a great day for a baseball game as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the rubber game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Well, in the first game of this three-game set, Yankees lost a heartbreaker, and Curtis Granderson kind of didn't have a good bottom of the ninth inning. But yesterday, Granderson made up for it.
You cannot say anything bad about Curtis Granderson offensively. He has exceeded all expectations on the Yankees. He's done everything he possibly can from the middle of last year. This is early in the game, and when things go well, they bounce over the wall. That's his 30th. Later in the game, career high 31 now. Leads all of baseball in runs scored. Can go on for a while, Michael, but amount of time. He's done everything for the Yankees so far.
I've got more, though. I've got more. 31 home runs, third in baseball. He's tied for second in RBIs. He's first in runs scored, and he's third in slugging percentage. Not too bad of a season, and he's still got about 6 weeks left. Let's look now at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Tyler Chatwood will go for the Angels, 6-8, 4.10, and Bartolo Colon for the Yankees, 8-6 with a 3.33. Kenny, the last time we saw Colon, he was pitching at Fenway Park.
Yeah, that was Friday night in Boston. It was actually the game that the Yankees won 3-2. Colon, a little give and take for him during the course of his outing. He gets Jacoby Ellsbury looking. Later on, Ellsbury gets him a shot off the wall. The Green Monster. Ellsbury has himself a two-base hit. Big Papi going to ground out here. In fact, it's going to be a double play. But Big Papi got him big time. Later on, he comes back against Colon, a hanging slider over the bullpen into the bleachers at Fenway Park. But the Yankees did win the game 3-2.
Their bullpen was great in that game in relief of Bartolo Colon. Robinson Cano was great last night. In fact, in the second half of the season, he's been outstanding. We'll talk about it next when we come back right here on Yankees Baseball on Yes. Of the three-game set, Yankees and the Angels. Robinson Cano with a big night last night. Kind of split his season into two. First 59 games, 273. In his last 55, 327. The home run's not as high, but certainly the batting average and the on-base percentage is much higher in the second half. Welcome back to Yankees Baseball, everybody. That's Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay, and Paul O'Neill will rejoin us in just a moment. It's a pleasure to watch this guy hit, but do you think, Kenny, that he was trying to hit home runs early, and that's why the average is higher now? The power has dropped?
Well, I know that he's been working with Kevin Long, the hitting instructor, and last night they worked prior to last night's ball game, and it really paid off. Robinson Cano in the first inning turned on the power, a shot to the gap in right center. He has a double. Then in the fourth inning, a triple past the diving Angel outfielder, and then a home run in the seventh. Robinson Cano and Kevin Long must be one proud coach to see his pupil come through. But it wasn't only offense, it was defense as well. I think what you're seeing from Cano is a well-rounded ball player, probably the best second baseman in the league. Nobody makes that play better than him. And by the time it's all said and done, you might be looking at the best second baseman the Yankees have ever had.
High praise indeed. It's been an interesting series so far. The Yankees lost a heartbreaker in the first game. In the second game, which was yesterday, they ran away with it. The rubber game, Lano's first pitch baseball, coming up next. By Domino's. Order at Domino's.com and see the progress of your order in real time with Domino's Tracker. And by 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later. Crowd filing into Yankee Stadium at Thursday matinee, the rubber game of this 3-game set. Eric Ibar digs in, carrying an 0 for 28. And Bartolo Colon is ready on the mound. We're ready for baseball. And let's do it here in the Bronx. The big right-hander deals. There's a strike. We're underway.
Of course there's a strike. I mean, when you're 0 for 28, of course they're going to get strike one, strike two.
Those are the numbers. League hitting .254 against Cologne.
Good fastball, 0-2.
Here's our Jeep pitcher scouting report. Right-handed batters hitting .231. That was his record with the Angels over 4 years. 46 wins, 33 losses, and happy days. He works to a 2.28 ERA in day games.
Swing and a miss. He overpowers Ibar, who is now 0 for his last 29. Why don't we check out the Angels starting lineup presented by HP? We've already seen the shortstop Eric Ibar. He leads off. Batting second and playing third, Alberto Callaspo. Bobby Abreu, the DH, hits third. Batting fourth, the right fielder Torrey Hunter. Mark Trumbo's at first base, batting fifth. Number 6 hitter is the left fielder Vernon Wells. Meiserus Torres at second base will bat seventh. Peter Borges, the center fielder, bats eighth. And Bobby Wilson catches and hits ninth. And the pitch to Callaspo is a strike. Angels 64 and 53. And they come into this game trailing the Texas Rangers by a game and a half in the American League West. And they're 8 games in the loss column behind the Yankees for the wild card. Yankees gained a game on the Red Sox last night. Red Sox lost to the Twins, so the Yankees a game and a half back. 1 in the loss column.
Hey, look, about every division is tightening up. Cleveland's doing a job. Detroit back 2 now. Said in the West it's close. Yankees and Boston close. Good races going on.
The only good race in the National League, though, is in the National League West. The other races, Milwaukee has a 5-game lead over St. Louis, and Philadelphia 8.5 over Atlanta. fastball fouls it back.
I don't know if you have must wins in August, but you know, if you're the St. Louis Cardinals and you're playing Milwaukee today, being down 4 and being down 6 this time of the year is a big difference.
Today's closed captioning brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Cologne deals the 2-2. Foul back. See Cervelli behind the plate for the Yankees. Cologne 4-0 with a 1.32 in his 5 starts with Cervelli behind the dish. What Joe Girardi has tried to do is stay away from personal catchers, and Cervelli's catching today not because Cologne's on the mound, because it's a day game after a night game. Cervelli's been catching Sabathia a lot.
Sabathia's pitching tomorrow night here against Tampa Bay.
The 2-2. Strike 3. We'll check out the Yankees defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. They haven't had to do much the first 2 batters. Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher left to right in the outfield. Infield, Chavez, Nunez, Cano, and Teixeira. That's third to first. Derek Jeter's the DH today. Cervelli is behind the plate, and Cologne on the mound.
Yeah, it's an example of spillover fastball. The final pitch, watch it just.
Woo. I mean, when you see a guy bailing out on a 2-seam, it's almost like a breaking ball. I mean, it's got that much movement on it. That's a 2-seam fastball that you don't see lefties jumping out of the way like that very often.
Pitch to Bobby Abreu is high. Because of that pitch, he gets a lot of called strikes. And called strikeouts, 54% of his strikeouts are called.
Look at that. We got 2 strike throwers today, Chatwood and Cologne.
Popped up. Sky high. Cano is there. He'll put it away in a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for Bartolo Colon. Angels nothing. The Yankees coming to bat. And the lineup presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner in left field will lead off. Derek Jeter is the DH. The captain will bat second. Batting third, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira at first base will clean up. Batting fifth, playing second base, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher's in right field, who'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing third base, Eric Chavez. Eduardo Nunez, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And the number 9 hitter is the catcher, Francisco Cervelli.
Now, we pointed out the Angels have several players with less than 2 years of experience in the major leagues. In fact, 10 of them. Here's one. Tyler Chatwood, just 21 years old. These are his numbers for this year. 21 starts, 6-8 record, 66 strikeouts. But more than a hit per inning, the league's hitting .283. And let's check out our G pitcher scouting report. He struggled lately. 11 runs allowed in his last 11 2/3 innings. Left-handed batters have done the job against him. They're hitting .321 on the season against him. But like Bartolo Colon, he likes working in the daytime. He's a day tripper. He's 5-1 in the day with a 2.43 ERA. At night, he's 1-7.
You know, Kenny, it's very interesting that you went to day tripper for a guy who pitched well. In my last scouting report a week ago, I was Good Day Sunshine, so we were both in Beatles.
I used Good Day Sunshine earlier in the year. And you're saying
we're in the same thing.
Yeah, I got you.
You always wonder why some pitchers pitch better in the day, and Freddie Garcia has an incredible record in day games. He had a very funny line as Gardner shows a bunt and takes a strike. When people asked him why, he joked, he said, maybe because everybody else stays out late and they're tired when they play day games. He says, and I don't. The 0-1. 1-1.
I didn't like day games as a player. As an announcer, I kind of like them. Get in, get out. Got lots to do.
Nice dinner.
Sets up for a good day. See a good game. And a night off.
Well, you just felt you saw the ball better at night, right?
Oh, yeah, I did. There's no doubt about it. I love playing baseball at night. Always. No glare out there at night.
Yankee pitchers as a staff have a 2.96 day ERA. That's the best in the American League.
Maybe that's why the Yankees are 32-8 in day games.
Could be the reason.
Yeah.
The best ERA day games in the majors, San Diego Padres 2.93.
What's really bright in San Diego.
It's nice out there too, though. You know that?
It kind of feels like a California day here today. Low humidity, sunshine.
Grounded to second. Is Torres. Over to Trumbo. There's one away. Why don't we take a look at the Angels defense? Brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State deal. Wells, Borges, Hunter, left to right in the outfield. Callaspo, Ibar, Torres, and Trumbo third to first. Wilson's behind the plate, and Tyler Chatwood on the mound.
And one thing you see immediately from Chatwood is he likes to work fast. I mean, you see he's ready to throw the ball. Jeet's doing his friendly greetings at the plate. Chatwood's out there ready to throw the ball.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Now, when watching that HBO special about Jeter's 3,000th hit, they had mic'd up Jeter, and it seems like the first time he comes to the plate, he taps the catcher and goes, "Take it easy on me today." I wonder if he's done that his whole career. And is that the same line he uses for every single team?
I don't know about his whole career, probably recently. You get real comfortable when you get numbers and you got years and you got rings. You pretty much say what you want out there at this point, okay?
Yeah, I think it's kind of paid off against the Angels because he's hitting .330 career against them.
So they do take it easy.
Yeah.
The 1-1. Foul back. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. We don't need numbers here, Paul.
That's right.
This is a beautiful day. Perfect day for baseball.
79. We haven't seen 79 since like midnight of last week.
Yeah, this is a great day. If you look at the sky today, I don't know if you all remember when you had to make dioramas in school in the little shoebox. That's how you do a sky, a nice blue background, and you'd pin up cotton balls. And that's what it looks like today.
You know what? I've done a few of those recently, kids being in school. Those things are a little harder. When you get older, you lose your imagination. You're not good at those things anymore.
Shouldn't they be doing it, Paul, instead of you?
I ask my wife the same thing. Why is his homework something that the kid has no chance of completing himself? It doesn't make sense to me.
Eventually, they go away to college and have to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Unless you're going with them.
No.
(3-2). Ground ball through for base hit. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Here's Curtis Granderson. 2 home runs yesterday. Kim tried to get him to admit it on the field after the game. Are you a home run hitter? No, I'm not.
Let's go with what's working.
Pretty good imitation of one.
There's a strike.
On the serious side, I had a chance to talk to Kevin Long, the hitting coach. First player in franchise history with at least 30 home runs, 9 triples, and 20 stolen bases in a single season. That's a pretty good year. The season's not over yet.
and even September. Ooh,
and Kevin was talking about the fact that this is about this time last year where he had the transformation. He worked with Kevin Long, and Kevin said that over a 3-day period it kicked in. You know, at certain times when he would make a mistake. Remember, Granderson used to let the bat go. Now he uses both hands on the bat. He used to have that one-arm swing and a long finish. July 25th of last year. Now watch the finish. Watch how the hand comes off the bat. Last night, watch the swing. Hand stays on the bat and the follow through. And that was one of the major transformations. Also, there was too much movement in his swing. Now he's a little more calm. But it said that Kevin said Curtis had the aptitude to get it done in a short period of time. And when they went through this tutorial process over a 3-day period, they worked before batting practice, during batting practice, and then again quickly before the game started.
2-2. Grounded to second. This could be 2. There's 1 on to first. It's a double play. So Granderson bangs into a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. No runs hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played 1 at the stadium. Yankees and the Angels scoreless on yes. Which team came out ahead the most in the 3-team trade for Curtis Granderson? You can text us at 58772. Was it the Diamondbacks? Ian Kennedy's 14-3. The Tigers with Scherzer and Austin Jackson, or the Yankees with Curtis Granderson?
You know what? I think they all came out ahead.
So there's no all of above in that thing.
Remember when you text, standard text messaging rates apply? Torrey Hunter fouls it back. Torrey has a 7-game hitting streak. No, it's an 8-game hitting streak now. Well, that's the trade right there.
Edwin Jackson's not with the Diamondbacks.
No, he's been on 2 teams since then. Hunter 15 for 28 during his hitting streak. 1-2. Lined into right field. It's now a 9-game hitting streak.
He is warm. 5 for 9 in this series. He and Mark Teixeira have been able to do a lot of talking over at first base. Every one of his hits has been a single.
Remember when Mark Teixeira became a free agent, Torrey Hunter was really recruiting him to come back to the Angels. But Teixeira's an East Coast guy, wanted to come back to the East Coast. The Angels made a bid. He had a great stretch with the Angels when he was traded from the Braves, but wanted to come to the Yankees.
Torrey Hunter, one of the few guys in this series that he's been on a base a lot, has not attempted a stolen base. Still waiting for that 100 for the team.
A
Right?
100, yeah.
They've sure thrown over there a lot, trying to keep him close.
Bartolo Colon's difficult to steal on. He gets rid of the ball quickly, a little short stride, and one of the more difficult right-handers to steal a base on in the American League. Had a good move to first. Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there. Field angle.
Trumbo in this series 2 for 7. Leads Major League rookies in home runs with 22, hits with 100, doubles 21, runs 49. Total bases 189, RBI 63.
Yeah, Michael, you and I have talked about this in the past. Most times the young players, the rookies, they hit much better in their home ballparks, but his home runs are split.
Hopped up. Nunez for the first out.
And the Triples hit 11 home runs on the road and 11 in Anaheim.
Talk about top rookies. 2 of the top rookies on the Anaheim Angels. I mean, who else out there?
You know what? We were talking about it yesterday, and we didn't bring up Ivan Nova is a rookie.
Yes, he is.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't discount what he's done.
No other rookie has more victories than him. We got the rookie for first baseman in Kansas City, Eric Hosmer, got called up. And he's had himself a good year. He's going to be around for a while.
There's a strike to Vernon Wells. Well, you look at Vernon Wells' average when it pops up and he comes up. You just can't believe it. Vernon Wells hitting 210. Popped up. Teixeira makes the play for the second out.
You see Vernon Wells, and the first thing that comes to mind, well, has he been injured all year? Not all year, but he was injured early. He was on the disabled list. But again, when you bring a big-name guy with a contract like that, you expect big numbers, or at least expect numbers that you're accustomed to seeing on his baseball card. And Mike Scioscia flat out said, Michael, I heard him on your radio show, that, you know, guys like Vernon Wells need to step out. I mean, he didn't kind of sugarcoat it and say guys. He specifically said certain names.
He said Vernon Wells, Torrey Hunter, Bobby Abreu. He said we need production out of them. He said I don't want anything extraordinary, but just give me your average year. Hunter just gets back.
Here's an example of Colon's quick move to first base. Like the tag was in the armpit just as the right hand, a little later than the right hand got to the bag.
Swing and a miss by Torres. Colon, a former Angel, actually won the Cy Young in 2005. Line drive just past the leaping try of Nunez. Hunter's going to go for third, and Granderson flips the ball into second to hold Torres at first.
Now, coming into last night, Torres had a 7-game hitting streak, but it was broken with a pinch hitting appearance when he struck out to end the ball game. But he started a new one right away, just out of the outstretched glove, just out of the reach of the outstretched glove. Eduardo Nunez.
Yes, Torres, one of the slap hitters, and slap hitters in my mind always handle the ball high. I mean, it's easy to get the bat to. You see that pitch was up and away, just something easy to slap the other way. Kim Jones, you all right back there? Huh? Bless you, bud.
It was Borges. Now, is that just a blanket, bless you, or did she sneeze?
Sneezed? You didn't hear it?
I think they heard it at Citi Field.
My prompter was shaking over here.
They stopped the Met Padre game for a moment.
Pulled the tarp.
Pulled the tarp.
The 0-1. Pitch is high, 1-1. Two baseball games going on in New York, same time. Mets and the Padres, and the Yankees and the Angels. The schedule makers try to keep the two teams away from New York at the same time, but sometimes they do overlap.
You know, difficulty in building a schedule that keeps all the teams happy. It's very difficult to do. Certain teams don't want to be at home during certain events that happen in their cities. They want to be on the road. It's difficult to make everybody happy.
Obviously, they do it with the Jets and the Giants. And do they do it with the Nets and the Knicks?
No.
They both play at home all the time?
Well, there's only 16 football games. You know,
yeah. And they also play in the same stadium.
Yeah. Well, you can have a day-nighter.
You can have a doubleheader.
Yeah. Haven't they ever done that before, day-nighter?
No.
No?
I don't think you can clear the place out that fast.
Really?
You ever try to get out of that stadium?
Yeah, I have.
It takes about a day and a half.
Not for a football game, but I've been there for a concert. You're right.
The 2-1. You would think that that's been built since 1976. Now there's a new stadium, it's the same spot, and they have never worked out the traffic patterns. When you're in that parking lot after a Giant or Jet game, you're almost committed to sitting in the car for 2 hours without moving.
Well, if they play there 2 weeks in a row, you just stay.
Hunter at third and Torres at first. The 3-1. And now Bartolo Colon has loaded the bases here with 2 outs.
You know, we saw the other night Dan Herron had a lot of success throwing that ball in on lefties and running it over the plate, just like Bartolo Colon, but he also did it to righties, where he would start the ball off the plate and run it, and you don't see a lot. Colon does it time and time against lefties, but you don't see him try to backdoor that sinker to righties much. And he's having trouble throwing that ball to strikes because it's running in off the plate. There it is right there.
This is Bobby Wilson, the backup to Jeff Mathis, day game after night game.
Hunter is Torres and Borges, third to first. Bases loaded with Angels, 2 outs. There's a strike.
He was running a couple balls in on Borges at 90, 91. All of a sudden now, bases loaded. You see 94, 93.
Time to do business.
Just missed. Tried to get that to come back over the outside corner.
Here's a look at the last pitch. You can see maybe trying to sneak one. You see Cervelli moving the glove back towards the corner. Didn't get the call.
1-2. Foul back. Mike Winter is the home plate umpire today.
What I like about Colon, though, is in big situations, I mean, he doesn't overthink things. He continues to throw his fastball. You know, a lot of pitchers, 3, 4, 5 fastballs in a row, they think they have to mix a slider in. And A.J. Burnett did it the other night to Mathis, and it's a hanging slider. Gives a guy who's hitting 180 an opportunity to put a good swing on it. Colon sticks with it, keeps pounding people, makes you beat him at his best pitch.
1-2. 2-2. Now he wants to make it work on this pitch. You don't want to go 3-2 with the bases loaded.
That was a pitch designed to get Wilson to swing at a pitch that drops out of the zone, but it wasn't close enough to the strike zone to begin with.
Eric Ibar, he of the 0 for 29, is waiting on deck. Two-two. Right back up the middle. Grabbed there by Nunez, and he fires the first. And they get Bobby Wilson. And Cologne works into and out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. Let's go to the bottom of the second. No score. Three games against Tampa Bay begin tomorrow, Friday, 7:05 on Yes. Then the game on Fox at 4:10. But we'll have Yankee extra innings after that. Then back on Yes on Sunday. Then the Yankees hit the road, 3 in Kansas City, and then 4 in Minnesota. And next week, at some point, Alex Rodriguez, if all goes well, will rejoin the Yankees.
He comes back with a splash too, doesn't he?
Last time he came back, first pitch, home run in Baltimore. That was when he came back from the hip surgery. Count 1-1 to Teixeira.
I think it was a 3-run homer, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep. Is looking for his first hit of the series.
Chatwood, you look at, not a real big guy, but his delivery reminds me of a similar stature of Oswalt, kind of dropping and really driving over the top with his legs.
Strike 3 to Teixeira down looking.
See, he likes to work quick and he'll throw strikes.
You know what it reminds me of, and see if you two agree. Tim Hudson of the Atlanta Braves.
Kind of the same thing.
And he's got that same sort of delivery too, kind of herky-jerky.
Right. He looks young because he is young.
Yeah.
He came into, what, 21 years old?
21.
Has not had a win since June 25th. So he won 0 for July. That's going to bring up Robinson Cano. Now, Cano had a home run, a triple, and a double. I asked him today at the batting cage, I said, let's say you came up in the 8th inning. The Yankees had a 10-run lead, and you hit a line drive down the line. Would you stop at first?
Like that?
You have to stop there anyway. And his answer was?
Without hesitation. Absolutely, I would stop it first. He said if we had a big lead. He said, but I would talk to Girardi before I went up to the plate and ask him if it would be okay to do that.
Can you imagine as a manager, I'm going up to the plate. Hey, Joe, I'm going to smoke one off the wall, but I'm going to stop it first here, all right? That's pretty confident, right?
Or I'm going to hit one in the seats and I'm going to miss second. So only get a single.
You're talking about extra base hits yesterday. Cano has more extra base hits, 430. through his first 7 seasons than any second baseman in Major League history. So all the talking, all the things we do, it kind of shows you what type of hitter he is.
Anybody in history?
Anybody in history? Oh, second baseman.
Yeah, well,
there's been a lot of good ones, though.
There's been some great ones in Hall of Fame. Joe Gordon of the Yankees. Joe Morgan.
Joe Morgan can play a little.
Yeah, Ryan Sandberg. Hall of Fame second baseman.
Double play has been a good friend to Tyler Chatwood. He's induced 22 of them.
You saw that last strikeout, and it's kind of it's weird because he's not a true sinker ball pitcher, but he gets a lot of ground balls with that four-seam fastball.
And there's 2 ways of looking at that. He gets the double plays, but that means there's a lot of guys on base. Yeah.
Does pitch with runners on.
And remember, we told you left-handed batters are hitting .321 against him.
And that just went up with Robbie.
That base hit brings Cano to 300 again. Stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. They've been busy these last couple of days.
You really want to watch that? You might want to take the 6th inning off, Michael.
That's some scary stuff lately.
Up and down, up and down.
You know, my home mattress thing is working out these last couple of years.
You know, when you have older parents, my mother's 84, Netley's mother's 93. You know, they come from a generation where you stick it in the bank. You don't worry about all these new things, you know, the stock market and all these things. You just save and don't worry about it.
Paul has just signed a contract to be part of the Fox Business Network. You'll get that kind of analysis from him.
Yeah, Michael sticks his money underneath the mattress. He needs a ladder to get in bed.
And a bunk bed that he sleeps on the top end. I'll tell you one thing, though. I did ring the bell one time.
Right.
Commodities market. That is unbelievable. It was like 8:59, and I'm having a normal conversation with some of these people, and that bell goes off, and it's like somebody opened the cages, and these people just come run. It's a bedlam in like 1 minute's time.
See if Joe Girardi has Cano on the move here.
3-2-1 out. He's on the move. Popped up. Callaspo gives it a look, but it's out of play.
Talk so much about Granderson, and he's been hot home run wise, but you know, you think about where Nick Swisher was the first couple months of this season, how far he's come too. So he's another guy that's really picked it up with Alex out of the line.
You know, Cano on the move is something that's been happening quite often this year, and he's got a career high. I know it's not a great number, but 8 stolen bases, 8 out of 9. Maybe he's adding a little more to his overall game.
You know, base stealing, obviously, like a Brett Gardner or just guys like that to just outrun the ball. But, you know, base stealing, if you have average speed and you're a good base runner, you know, you can steal 10 to 15 bases by stealing on pitches, certain situations. And it does help. It adds runs.
On it goes. Well, he's getting Cano some work. Swisher is.
Takes a little longer to get back to first every foul ball.
Next pitch will be the 10th of the at bat. Goes again. Line drive, foul ball.
He got to round second base that time. Now he's got to walk back all the way from third.
Looked like it was an off-speed pitch, and Swisher was not fooled. He was a little out in front. There goes Cano. 3-2 pitch on the way. Wham.
Cano wants time. Now you wonder, is he just fake tying his shoe to just get some time to recover?
All this run, he might have blown out a shoelace. Those are the type you could play in and wear home.
Take the spikes out, make them slippers.
Runner goes. Driven the other way. Foul ball. Now, at what point, I mean, we joke about it, at what point does it start to affect Cano that he's run hard that many times?
Well, I mean, you're in a position where it's almost a hit and run. You're not trying to steal the base because your manager has put Nick Swisher in a position where, it's ball four and make contact. So, the running part of it, you can deal with. But again, you're not trying to cheat and steal thinking he's going to strike out.
Well, Swisher's got a good eye. If it's probably out of strike zone, he's going to take it for ball four.
Trying to catch Cano sleeping. Runner goes. Grounded to first. Thought about going to second, but he'll take the out at first. 2 away as Cano advances.
And you stay out of the double play.
A lot of times as a runner, you think as you're moving, there's no chance on you. Took a long look there, almost threw it. See Robbie kind of slow up at the end, and
I think you can tell when you're running to second by the reaction of the infielder covering the bag what's going to happen. The ball's not coming your way.
Eric Chavez takes inside, and Wilson goes out to talk with Chatwood. Nick Swisher doesn't drop the bat.
Taking my bat with me.
You think about it, he hit a couple balls hard, foul, and then he hits a little roller to first.
Asked Joe Girardi today why has he been DHing Chavez and playing Nunez at third, and he gave a two-pronged answer. He said he likes the way Nunez has played third. He thinks he's done a great job there. He said also if I DH Chavez and they bring in a lefty and I want to pinch hit, I can send up Andrew Jones. But I really can't pinch hit for him as a third baseman. He said because then I'm using 2 players.
Don't you know when you ask Joe Girardi a question, there's going to be a logical answer behind it, well thought out.
That's cool. I want to hear it though.
Yeah.
They're going to intentionally walk Chavez.
Nunez 2 for 7 in this series, but over a longer period of time, he's been hitting the ball at a 350 clip. So this could be interesting here, especially if he gets a pitch up.
Count 1-0. Popped up. Trumbo makes makes the play, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Play 2 here at the stadium. No score. Of an official team publication in American professional sports dedicated to women. The women's issue of Yankees Magazine includes an exclusive story about the philanthropic work of the Steinbrenner family, features about Yankees assistant GM Gene Afterman and senior VP of marketing Debbie Timon. They join stories about Billie Jean King, Jenny Finch, Mia Hamm, and other pioneers. That one is lofted to left field, and Gardner drifts back to make the play. On the Lincoln scoreboard, there is no score. I want to remind everybody that Yankees Magazine is available at Yankee Stadium through 800-GO-YANKS or online at yankees.com/publications. They did a great job with this issue, and every story in the issue is about women in sports and the things they do and the wives behind the players and how important they are as well. So you should give that a look.
Very well done. By the way, Ibar is now 0 for 11 in the series. Now, the previous series here at Yankee Stadium, the Baltimore Orioles were here. And J.J. Hardy, the Orioles shortstop, went 0 for 16 in that 4-game series. So the last 2 shortstops that come in town are 0 for 27.
Ibar now 0 for 30 overall.
Yeah, change the scenery usually does help things when you go in it, but Ibar was started before he got here.
Line drive right field. That's a base hit. It gets past Swisher and goes to the wall. And Alberto Callaspo with a 1-out double.
Since Hardy left town, he got hot again.
That usually does happen. Once you turn it around, then all of a sudden you wonder how you ever went through anything like that, because the hits start falling.
There's Abreu. He has 4 hits off Cologne career, and 2 of them home runs. There's a strike.
We mentioned how Abreu rarely swings at the first pitch. This season, only 8% as he swung at the first pitch. But in situations, that percentage goes up,
right?
Particularly with runners in scoring position, although he took the pitch here. If he feels he's got a chance to do some damage, it goes up to 13% of the time. That's still not a lot.
You know, I think Bobby Abreu, you see, and you remember he hit that big home run off of Mariano, and it looked like he was kind of cheating inside. He's at a point in his career where that hard fastball inside, you almost have to start open up. You almost become more of a guess hitter because you become a little bit slower inside, and then all of a sudden that outside pitch gets you. You open up that front hip.
95 miles an hour, strikeout of Abreu. Third strikeout for Cologne.
Watch the movement on this one. Whee! Like a wiffle ball coming up there.
Yeah, he had set that up by throwing in hard, and you saw in that replay that front hip of Bobby Abreu starts to open up, and when you open up with that front hip, that shoulder, everything kind of goes with it, and that ball away, you just kind of wave at it.
Because you're really looking in.
Yeah, you have to open up to get to it because you just don't feel like you're quick enough.
There's Torrey Hunter. There's a strike. Hunter with a single in the second extended his hitting streak to 9 straight. He's also hitting 13 of his last 14 as he pushes the average to 255. Check with the first base umpire, Mike Everett. He said he did not go.
It was really weird. I was looking at some stats on Ugla last night. You were talking about he's got, what, 31 games now. And once you get to 31 and the percentage of getting to 32 was only like 60% and to 33 was only like 50%. It's amazing how the higher you go, I mean, the percentages get low. I mean, it's weird. I mean, there's only been, what, 6 over 40 games.
Those are the numbers during his 31-game hit streak. Rates his average from 173 to 224. Thank goodness he had this streak. Adam Dunn would like one.
Ooh. Joe DiMaggio during his 50, he hit over 400.
Yeah.
That's like over a third of the season hit 400.
Right. What was amazing about that is he started another streak right after that. So, I mean, it just...
2-2.
But I also believe during DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak, he didn't face 60, just a little over 60 pitchers because of the way pitching was in those days. Pitchers started, so he got a chance to see the same guy just about 4 times a game.
Right. I agree 100%.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Not to say that hitting 56 straight games is easy. It's difficult. That's been broken since. But the fact is that, as Hunter draws a walk here, is that if you see the same pitcher, it makes it a little bit easier to figure out what's happening.
That's why that record seems to be almost unreachable, because you're facing relief pitchers, as you said, and different pitchers all the time. So if a guy doesn't have something, usually in the old days, he'd stay in for the whole 9 innings and absorb the beating.
And the relief pitchers were guys that weren't good enough to be starters.
Right.
Where, you know, relief pitchers now are specialty guys, left-handers that come in, throw sidearm, right-handers that throw sliders to righties. So it's much tougher matchups later in the game this day and age than it was years back.
Pitch outside to Trumbo, the count 1-0. Trumbo popped up the short in the second. Callaspo at second. Hunter is at first. No score, top of the third. Popped up, and Cologne makes the call, and he'll make the catch. Like a cat. And he gets out of a jam. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. I got it. I got it. You know what? He got it. watch it on Max Go by Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. And by the HP Touchpad. Everybody on. Gorgeous day here in New York City. And on the Lincoln scoreboard, there's no scores. We go to the bottom of the third. Bartolo Colon and Tyler Chatwood. Francisco Cervelli digs in. Been hot of late. 8 for his last 19. Has the average up to 250. He seems to be so much of a better hitter when there are runners on base. Just kind of simplifies things. Count 2-0. And the pitch. Rounded foul. It'll be Cervelli, Gardner, and Jeter, 9, 1, and 2 in the Yankee order. Fouled away. Chatwood, kid from California, he's just 21. Angels got him in the second round in 08. Baseball America's 76th best prospect entering this year. He's grounded to third. And Cervelli is out, 1 down. Afternoon game. A lot of kids are out. A lot of camps with the same color shirts out in left field. Some lime green and orange, and right field the same deal. I got a letter from a viewer, because we talked about the camps the last afternoon game, and you said it would be easy to have a kid shoot out of the group. And this guy, this happened 40 years ago. He said he was there with the camp, and one of the kids got lost, and the kid got so nervous, he's screaming, crying, just crying. And the Yankees took him down to the clubhouse and waited for the other camp counselors to come down and get him, and he got all autographs. And this guy, like 50, 60 years later, was still bitter. He said this little crybaby, it paid off for him.
Yeah. Just before cell phones, he was down in the clubhouse hobnobbing.
Said he got Mickey Mantle's autograph, the whole deal. And all these years later, it still chapped him.
The guy was walking around the stadium like he was lost.
That one is driven deep to right field. Going back, Hunter, and it's over his head and up against the wall. Gardner collides with Trumbo, but still gets to second with a double.
You don't see this very often. Torrey Hunter, great outfielder. Turned the wrong way on this ball and kind of got caught up. Couldn't get back quick enough.
Yeah, as you watch the play, Gardner got hooked up with Trumbo, rounding first base. Now, now watch this. He was going to be awarded second base. You can see the first base umpire, Mike Everett, said, "You're going to get second. Don't worry about it. You're too big."
Again, Torrey Hunter, I mean, what, it was 8 or 9 Gold Gloves he's won, and he just every once in a while as an outfielder, soon as the ball hits, you turn the wrong way. It makes it very difficult to get your feet back and get a good break on the ball.
Great stat on the scoreboard right now. Among active major league players, Derek Jeter has the highest personal winning percentage. His teams win 60% of the time. And that's all you need to know. Now, he's been on some good teams, but he's one of the reasons the team's good. Count 1-0. Jeter singled in the first inning. He's averaging 273. Foul away.
See Chatwood.
Oh, nice play by a fan.
Got a snag up there?
Yeah. Let's see. Very smooth.
Basket catch.
One. Fouled away.
And another
good
grab.
catch.
This guy's got a glove, though. That doesn't count. That was a good snag, too.
This must be the good hand section.
Doink.
Wow, nice.
Chatwood really keeping an eye on Gardner, making sure he stops him at second base with one out. That's where you really have to be concerned with a base stealer.
Grounded, left side. Ibar fires across the diamond, an infield single for Jeter. As Gardner goes to third.
You know what made that infield single possible? Ibar holding Gardner at second, opened up the right side. He had to go way to his right, then throw all the way across the diamond to get Derek Jeter. His momentum's going away from the play. You can see where he is, trying to get back over here and cover some more ground. Couldn't do it. Throw is offline. Jeter has an infield single. He should chalk that up to Gardner being at second base, kind of taking Ibar out of position.
Yeah, as an organization, you make a decision right there who is going to hold Gardner. And Derek Jeter, as much as he hits the ball to the right side, they had the shortstop holding Gardner there. Kenny, you're right. Ended up getting Derek Jeter a base hit.
And plus the fact he still got to third base.
Right.
Sure, that little conference there, they could talk about if Jeter takes off for second. Gardner with such great speed at third. Do you throw through? Even mess with this with a guy with 31 homers at the plate?
I was just going to say, I think when you've got a guy as hot as Granderson, you got to realize, you know, you got runners, but you also got a guy that can put 3 spots on the board real quick. Don't lose sight of what's going on here. Concentrate on trying to get ahead, which he has not. Get this hitter.
Granderson has 3 hits in this series. All 3 are home runs.
Runners on. The batting average again goes to .305. Count 2 in there. He was pitching better today than he has in his last 2 outings. Last 2 outings, 11 earned runs in 11 2/3 innings. A little bit of an issue right now. Now 1 pitch away from loading the bases.
Again, like Colon, I mean, he has upped it up. That was 95. He's been in the low 90s, so he's trying to make that perfect pitch, trying to get that ground ball. Now he's in trouble with 3-1.
Grounded to Trumbo. Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1. On to first. It's a 3-6-1 double play. So Granderson bangs into a twin killing for the second time in 3 innings. Yankees end up stranding 1. We play 3. There's no score on yes. Partnerships are built on trust. At G Capital, we prove that every day.
Yeah, this is a nice turn play by nicely turned play by the Angels here. Trumbo starts it, and Chatwood's going to finish it. 3-6-1.
Strike to Vernon Wells. Many in baseball were shocked when the Angels acquired Vernon Wells, but more so that they didn't ask the Blue Jays to absorb any of the money. Everyone thought the only way the Blue Jays could ever trade Vernon Wells is if they eat most of the remaining salary, but the Angels took it all on, and that just shocked the baseball world. Popped up. Teixeira makes the play. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz here in the top of the fourth inning. Before Granderson and Teixeira, this is the last pair of Major League teammates to hit more than 30 home runs through the team's first 115 games. Pitch outside to Asturias. Asturias single to left center in the second. They're feeling, for some reason, very generous in the truck. They're going to give a little bit of a hint. The year for that answer was 2006.
Feeling generous because I look a little confused up here. So they thought they'd give me a little hint. 2006?
Did it help?
I'm processing right now, Michael. Hang on a second.
Count 2-2.
Colon has already made one start against the Angels this year. It came on June the 5th out in California in Anaheim, where Yankees won 5-3.
Popped up. Shallow left. Nunez. For the second inning.
Colon worked 5 1/3, gave up 6 hits and 3 runs, but got himself a victory against his former team.
I get the feeling, Kenny, like it's in top of the fourth inning. It's 0-0, but you still feel like the Yankees are winning. You feel like they're on the brink of scoring some runs where you don't get that feeling on the Angels side.
Well, the Yankees have had the better opportunities to score. Let's put it that way. Just a couple of double plays that robbed Joe Girardi of a lead here early in the game.
That one is driven out to right field. Going back is Swisher, and on the track he'll make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. Go to the bottom of the fourth inning. There's no score. 1 yes. time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz before Granderson and Teixeira, who's the last pair of Major League teammates hit more than 30 home runs for the team's first 115 games. And the answer is David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez, the 06 Red Sox. Teixeira hits one deep to right field, but it hooks foul. Another good catch. This is a great defensive crowd. Teixeira in his last 7 games is 2 for his last 24. So 83.
Funny, we got some guys that are hot, and we got some guys that are struggling in this series. We got Opers, and we got guys that are hitting 2 home runs a day.
1-1. Driven out to left field. Wells drifts back, makes the play. Between innings, Kenny, I got a very interesting email from a guy I really respect, former great player, Joe Pepitone. So we had mentioned that DiMaggio had a streak against about 60 pitchers. It's tougher now, and he said, do you mean to tell me that DiMaggio, Mays, and Aaron would not be as great against today's pitching? And then he also added, this is something that we should consider. How do you think today's players, he said, would react to the constant knockdown pitches which are not allowed to be thrown?
You want my side on
Yeah.
that? I think that there's, in generations, there's specific people that are just heads above everybody else. But I think over the course of history, athletes are athletes. Joe DiMaggio would be just as good today as he was back then. Robinson Cano would be just as good back then as he is today. Great athletes are great athletes. I think that the game has improved because of training and things like that. But I don't think that, you know, every once in a while you get a Joe DiMaggio or a Willie Mays or, you know, a Ken Griffey Jr., just guys that are above the charts athletically, gifted at a game. But I think that, you know, over the course of you know, where we keep records, that athletes are just athletes.
Do you think those guys would have been even better today because they had, you know, better training?
That one's looped to left. Cano gets himself a base hit, and he'll stop at first. He's 2 for 2.
Well, you look at one guy. I mean, you look at Babe Ruth. I mean, it was noted the guy didn't train. I mean, most of those guys got jobs in the offseason, and you know, would he be better? Sure, he'd be better. But again, you're facing a guy that's a specialist out of the bullpen throwing 98 to 100. You didn't see that back then. But, I mean, would he be great today? Sure, he'd be great today. He was a great baseball player.
I do agree with one thing that Joe said, though. The pitchers were a little meaner back then.
Yeah.
They could get
there's
away
no
with
doubt
it a
about
little.
it. No doubt about it. Stan Williams, and this is when I really kind of got a wake-up call. He was our pitching coach in Cincinnati, and he was from that generation of knockdown pitches and this and that. And he told me one day he hit Willie Mays right in the back. And when, you know, you hit a star player, you know, something usually comes about it. And he walked by the next day. They were stretching. And he said, Willie, sorry about hitting you in the back. Took another step and looked back. He said, I meant to hit you in the neck. So there was a little different things going on back then.
It's a fascinating discussion, especially with baseball expansion teams. There's a lot of guys up in the majors now that would be in one of the 20 farm teams that the Yankees had back then.
Now that part of it I do agree with. More teams, more positions. But then there are guys that get opportunities to become great players that would have probably, you know, never been on the major league field.
I think one thing you have to remember, too, that nowadays players move around more. In those days, they were kind of on one team, and that was it. And when you built up a grudge against somebody on another team, that grudge is going to stay for years, as opposed to you might end up on that team nowadays.
Right. And one other thing that has to be factored in, especially before 1947, blacks were not allowed to play in the major league, so the talent pool was not as great as it should have been. High fly ball out of Swisher. Borges is there for the second out as Cano heads back to first.
You look back, Kenny, there's probably still guys that, you know, you were on rival teams that, you know, you don't dislike, but you still have that something about it. Yesterday, Mike Scioscia comes up to me on the field, and you know, shakes my head, talks about it a little bit. But and then when I walked away, it's like it was weird because when I was with Cincinnati, L.A. was our rival.
Yeah,
that
right.
was the big rival, the Dodgers and the Reds. And it was a point, you know, he was a catcher. I remember him blocking home plate. I mean, he was disliked because he was good for another team. So you did have those grudges.
Ground ball by Chavez to short. And that'll do it here in the fourth. So we got a pitcher's duel going on. No runs to hit and nobody left. 4 in the books and no one scored a run. Later on, we want to remind you to take the Yankees with you when you travel out of the Yankees' home territory. How do you do it? Well, you subscribe to MLB.tv today to see Yankees games live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Bobby Wilson leads off the fifth. He takes a pitch low from Bartolo Colon. No score. Wilson, Ibar, and Callaspo, 9-1 and 2 in the Angel order. Joe Girardi said before the game that Colon is his biggest surprise. He said we knew that he could pitch. He said we just didn't know that he'd be pitching here in August for us. And that one's a high fly ball left field. Gardner is there. He said, and now it's gone from a pleasant surprise that if we lost him, he said it would be a big blow. He said it would really hurt us. So Colon went from a non-roster invitee in spring training to an integral part of this team. That's what's happened so far today. A little pitcher's duel going on. Each pitcher has had a little bit of a jam and worked out of it.
Like I said, when you're 0 for how many, every time you go up there, it seems like it's strike one.
0 for 30.
Then your mind starts just messing with you, like here we go again, and it's just very hard to stay confident. Takes a hit
Dribbled
like
slowly
this.
to third.
That's it.
And there's your base hit. So that breaks it 0 for 30.
Look at his smile. No, he's not going to go for New York.
That's what it usually takes. You see Mickey Hatcher hit a couple balls hard last night for nothing. I mean, you saw wood splintering on that one. That was hit so bad.
You know what? The smile on his face, he looks like a like a 9-year-old kid just got a bike for Christmas. You know, look at it. Oh boy, just what I wanted. Food will taste better later on.
See the cup at the end of that bat, and you see it just come off. It causes friction on the ball, and it just tore that piece of wood off the end of the bat. It's good solid hitting right there, isn't it, Kenny, when you see the splinters flying off the ball? Espo, I didn't know much about him, but had an impressive at bat the first night when he pinch hit off Mariano. Turned on a ball, drove it to right field. To expect the Angels to run during this series. There's few runs that have been scored.
Pitch out.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Colon gets rid of the ball quickly. He's difficult to steal on.
And Ibar, you look at his stat. I mean, he's had 24 stolen bases, been caught only 4 times this year. So he hasn't been on base in a while. He probably got to go through the the process again.
Hit and run was on. Callaspo fouls it away.
You saw what a late jump, because Colon does hold him and then jumps and slide steps, so he does get rid of the ball quick. It's very hard as a runner to get a good jump. So Mike Scioscia putting the hit and run on, knowing that. Talked about Colon pitched in Anaheim for years, so I mean, Mike Scioscia knows how quick he gets rid of the ball.
Been through slumps. I have too. And when you finally get to first base, you think, where am I and how did I get here? And what do I do next?
Foul ball.
There was a time that first base coach Alfredo Griffin would have handled that ball. He was a co-rookie of the year one year with John Castino of the Minnesota Twins. Alfredo Griffin was playing shortstop for Toronto.
Another guy looking back was with the Dodgers with Mike Scioscia.
Two. Foul away.
See him flinching over there. I think he's just trying to draw some attention from Colon. It's just too tough to get a jump off of him right now.
Fly landed on his hat. Didn't even blink. That one's driven deep to right field. If it's fair, it's gone. See ya. Home run into the second deck by Callaspo. And the Angels lead 2-0.
Talked about the other night, Callaspo, how quick he is inside. He turned on Mariano's cutter in a pinch hit situation. Well, from hit and run, trying to slap one, to hit one in the second deck. Fastball that kind of ran a little bit too much out over the plate.
Yeah, he's just trying to steer it fair. It stays fair into the second deck. He had a good at bat. He fouled off several tough pitches. Finally got one he can handle. Got one to go.
Let's check out the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Swisher has the last look at it.
High pop-up. Granderson will make the play for the second out. Angels trying to win this series. In their last 15 series, they've won 13, they've lost 1, and they split 1. And Scioscia's doing it with a pedestrian offense and outstanding pitching. They're 13th out of 14th in runs scored in the American League. Over the mound will be a tough play. Cano makes it. What a play by Cano to get Hunter at first. And he made it look easy, and believe me, that was not an easy play. Angels 2 runs on 2 hits. Nobody left. We're halfway through. Angels up by 2. Shot.
Yeah, he's made several outstanding plays in this series, going both to his right and to his left. This time he robs Torrey Hunter of a hit.
Well, now the Yankees have a deficit they have to try to make up. They're down 2-0, bottom of the 5th, and Nunez leads off, takes a strike from Chatwood. Pitch is high, 1-1. Count 2-1.
Important inning for Chatwood. All of a sudden you look up, you get a 2-run lead, you get out there. It's very important, Michael. You've always talked about trying to throw a 0 up, but just not in a 3-1 count, not allowing them to get base runners without, earning. You can't go out and start walking people all of a sudden because you got a lead.
Line drive, left field. Vernon Wells makes the play. Started to sink and kind of tail at the last moment. Or hook because it's off the right-handed bat.
So Vernon Wells lost one in left center the other night, made a good catch right in the lights. And you see that ball during a day game can give you a problem because you lose it in the fan shirts. It gets so low that it if it can get caught in somebody who's wearing a white shirt out there, lose it that way too.
That one is grounded to third. Kai Aspo gets Cervelli. Wade Boggs used to always tell me that day games at Yankee Stadium were actually scary for him at third base. The way that the lower deck was graded, he said the ball would come right out of the white shirts. He said, and you really couldn't see the ball until it's right on you.
It made it tough for outfielders to get jumps on the ball. You did it. You kind of froze and you couldn't pick up the ball in between the shirts. And from a television standpoint, when you're looking at it, you don't understand it. You can't figure it out. You can't see it. But when you're running towards a ball and it's a blur of a bunch of white, you're trying to pick up that baseball. It can be tough.
bunt up the third baseline, but grab foul by Wilson.
Trying to get something started with the 2 down. Gardner's going to take the long walk back. Speaking of Chatwood, we mentioned how well he's pitched in day games. And this trend is continuing today. He's worked to an ERA of 2.43 in day games. Night games is where his problems have come in. 1-7 in night games with a 5.48 ERA in 12 starts. 9 starts in day games. He's 5-1. That's one of those baseball phenomenals.
Phenomenals,
yeah.
You look at Brett Gardner trying to bunt with 2 outs, and a lot of times I would think, that's kind of weird. But Chatwood had, with that great play that Wells made, and then a first pitch out. A bunt makes him makes it a difficult inning for him, and you want to make him throw some more pitches, not have a very easy inning like he's started with. Wilson back there kind of yelling at him, come on, come on, you don't want any walks here, make a guy earn it. He did with Nunez. Your fielders will make a play.
Fly ball, shallow right, and a basket catch by Torrey Hunter, and that will do it as the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. We played 5 here at Yankee Stadium on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. It's the Angels 2 and the Yankees nothing. The most in the 3-team trade for Curtis Granderson, and here is how you vote it. 65% say the Yankees did. Granderson's had such a great season, and why not? 2-0 Angels over the Yankees top position. The stat that jumps out at me is ever since he did that work with Kevin Long, it's 1 game over a full season, 163 games. And he has 45 home runs. When you get a center fielder that's going to give you 40 home runs, play good defense, run the bases well, that's a pretty good player to get.
Not a run.
Sounds like Willie Mays or Mickey Mantle.
0-2 on Trumbo. Colon is much more efficient pitch count wise than he was his last two outings. Didn't get out of the fifth against the Red Sox. Went 5 in his previous start. And that one was against the Orioles. The 0-2. Pitch outside. .21 pitches in the second inning, the most he's thrown. He had the bases loaded there with 2 outs, got out of it when Bobby Wilson grounded to short. Trumbo fouls it away. Angels are going to have a nice problem if Kendrys Morales can come back next year. Trumbo has proved that he can play in the outfield, so they can go that route. Don't know if Morales' mobility will be hindered with his leg issues. Maybe he becomes the DH. But it's hard not to miss Morales, a switch hitter with power right in the middle of your lineup.
Weird injury, obviously, in a celebration, but to, start doing second surgeries and things like that, it's just doesn't make sense, really.
Grounded to second. Cano right there. There's one away.
Well, Michael, you talk about that situation. Bobby Abreu is only signed through this year. So if they do want to have Morales back as the DH, it could happen if they want to go that route.
Vernon Wells takes low. They have 2 more years of Vernon Wells, and they hope it's not 2 years like this. Final 2 years of a 7-year, $126 million contract he signed with the Blue Jays. And after he signed that contract, he became a different player. Good guy, works hard, but just nowhere near what he was.
Abreu does have a vesting option, and it appears he's going to make it. So he might be back with the Angels. Good play by Nunez. Stayed with it, kept the glove low, and ball found the glove.
Here's Meiser's Torres. Pitch outside.
You talked about Vernon Wells, and we keep saying he's not the player that he was. And I'm just looking at some numbers. I mean, some of the years that he did have in Toronto. I mean, led the league in doubles, 49 one year. Also had 33 home runs, 117 RBIs. He drove in 100 runs 3 or 4 times. I mean, he had big numbers. So that's what really is surprising. But it has been on a downturn. It's not like it was just this year.
That's why people were shocked when the Angels made the trade. And the word in baseball is that the young GM of the Blue Jays, Alex Anthopoulos, actually was the GM of the year just for making that deal, just for having the Angels take all of the salary. Foul back. They had 2 onerous contracts, and they got rid of both of them. One, Alex Rios, was taken off waivers by the White Sox, and the other one, Vernon Wells, traded to the Angels. 1-2. Line foul.
You can always tell a switch hitter swing, the little guys. You could tell they just don't have swings like a guy who just hits left-handed. They just don't know how to explain it. But,
most of them become switch hitters to take advantage of their speed with bunting and an extra step towards first base. Yeah, that's what you don't want to do. Pop it up.
Nunez makes the call on the catch, and a 1-2-3 in the Bartolo Colon. And now, a business update from our friends at the Fox Business Network. The bottom of the sixth, it's time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Angels lead this one 2-0, each team with 5 hits. Callaspo, a 2-run home run in the fifth. That's the only offense in the game. Chatwood has gone 5 innings. He's walked 1, struck out 1. He's thrown 81 pitches. And Colon, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 90 pitches through 6 innings. So Derek Jeter will lead it off against Chatwood, Jeter, Granderson, and Teixeira here in the sixth. 1-0.
Well, how's Chatwood done it, Kenny? And if you look back, I mean, he's had some balls hit. They've been caught. He had a big double play.
He's had a couple of double plays to help him out, both off the bat of Granderson. Mixed his pitch as well. And he's not overpowering. He gets it up there every once in a while. 94, 95. Seems like he's been able to come up with a pitch when he needs it. When he gets into real jams.
Chopped over the mound, going to be a difficult play. And Jeter has his 3rd hit.
You know, after watching Robinson Cano make these plays, Meister as Torres have to come up with something special, and he's not able to do it.
You see where it comes into play is Robbie can snap that ball with unbelievable arm strength. And you see, you know, that ball right there, kind of lobbed over there. Just, I mean, it's a very hard play. There's no doubt about it. But it makes you appreciate Robbie Cano, how much he can get on that throw when he's heading towards shortstop.
Pitch to Granderson is inside. Granderson 2 double plays today. 4-6-3 and 3-6-1. 1 in the 3rd inning. The 3-6-1 came with runners on 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Count 2-0. Foul.
And we just mentioned that Jeter's got 3 hits today against the Angels and his .330 career hitter against them. The top 6 players against the Angels all time. Wade Boggs, 335. Paul Molitor, 333. Kirby Puckett, 331. Then Jeter. Then Eddie Murray and Alex Rodriguez in terms of batting average.
Big names beat up the Angels, huh?
Well, I remember Eddie Murray because he was from Los Angeles and he had a big family. It'd be like a whole section of Eddie relatives, and every time he did something, he wanted to show off when he got out there. Yeah. He would just crush the Angels.
High fly ball, right field. Going back, Hunter, track, wall, see you. Oh, a high fly 2-run home run. His 32nd home run of the year, and the game is tied at 2. That might have been as high as it was far.
Tell you what, and if you watch Torrey Hunter, he doesn't give you any help whatsoever in your call, Michael, because he plays them all like they're going to be caught. You see Curtis Granderson flip his bat down like he didn't get it. Ball's carrying. Warm, beautiful day.
He kind of surprised himself. He got good wood on it, and there's a hug from the hitting coach.
Strike 2 to Teixeira.
Surprised himself. He flips the bat down like it was a high fly ball, and it just kept going.
You know, every once in a while as a hitter you'll hit one and you think you got it and it doesn't go, and vice versa.
That one is looped into center field, a base hit for Teixeira. All right, let's check out the home run leaders in the major leagues, brought to you by the HP Touchpad. Everybody on. And Granderson continues to inch up, but this is team home runs. And check it out, the Yankees with 154, the Rangers 141. Or check that, the Red Sox 141, the Rangers 140. Well, that base hit by Teixeira is going to bring Butcher out to the mound to talk with Chatwood and the Angel bullpen getting ready. Well, John Sterling's call perfectly applicable for that one. That was high and far and indeed gone. It looked like a pop-up at first, but it just kept traveling. And I'm sure that shakes up a pitcher a little bit. Probably didn't think it was gone off the bat. The same feeling as Granderson.
Yeah. Usually when, as a hitter, when you got your mechanics right, everything goes well, and it's, you know, even if you miss it a little bit, it's like you get the good backspin on it and it just carries for you.
Here's Cano with a runner on first and nobody out. Takahashi warming. Pitch fouled away. Cano has 6 hits and 10 at bats this series, and is averaging .302 now. So 2-2 game. A couple of 2-run home runs, the scoring. Kai Aspo for the Angels and Granderson for the Yankees. Granderson now 32 homers and 93 runs batted in. I think the only thing that will keep people from seriously considering Granderson for winning the MVP is that the average is under 300. But his numbers up and down the leaderboard, he's just having a super season. Pretty good series as well. 4 for 11, 4 home runs, and 7 ribbies.
All 4 of his hits homers in this series.
Missed outside, 1-2. Cano also likes day games. He's reached base safely in 39 of the 40 he's played this year.
He's been great as a Chicago Cub. I mean, he's great as a Yankee.
Must be one of those guys that gets to sleep.
I guess so. It's his old buddy Melky Cabrera's 27th birthday today.
Melky's only 27.
Melky's having a good year in Kansas City. Yankees going to see him soon.
Count 3-2. Cano was a single short of the cycle yesterday, and Melky's the last Yankee to hit for a cycle. And the last hit that he got that day was the triple, and boy, was he fired up.
That was in Chicago.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was in Chicago.
You ever do that, Ken?
No.
He meant go to Chicago, Ken.
Oh, yeah. Well, plenty of time.
Runner goes. Fouled away.
I think I told Michael once that he asked me the same question. I said, I got a cycle for Christmas.
Yeah.
Did you ever hit for a cycle?
In minor leagues, not the big leagues. It's, a few times I only needed a single. Couldn't get it. Got stage fright.
She laid down a bunt.
Too much power.
Laid down a bunt. That was on him a while.
Runner goes. Grounded to short. They stay out of the double play because of that, but they do get Cano. You score that 6-4-3 on the out at first.
But Adbar took a chance on getting nobody.
Ball hit hard. Teixeira doesn't run the greatest, but still, you got to know when you have no chance. Teixeira's not even to the bag. Does a good job of still getting Robbie at first base.
Adbar was in charge of covering, but he held his position long enough that the ball came. He stopped, and ball came to him.
Runner at second. Here's Swisher. Game tied at 2. Count 1-0. Next pitch will be the 100th for Chatwood.
So Chatwood really driving that ball down in the zone, trying to keep it low. The ball you see intentionally thrown high is that big breaking ball where he tries to break it over the kind of freeze the hitter. Just hit that magic 100 pitch.
Did he go? No, he did not. Said Mike Muchlinski.
But how hard is it, Paul, to put the brakes on? If you get to a certain point, you have Rafael Soriano warming up in the Yankee bullpen. But you start the bat, and
I
it
think
takes all the strength you have to stop it.
It hurts sometimes, too.
And Swisher works a walk. So let's see if they go to the lefty Takahashi with Chavez coming up. Looks like they will. Now the Yankees could counter by, now they can't because he's playing third base today. If they counter with Andrew Jones, they'd lose the DH because Jeter would have to play short and Nunez would go to third. So we'll see what Joe Girardi does. Chatwood's day is over. He cannot win, but he can lose. The runners on base is responsibility. At 6 with Audi batting practice today and the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Kenny, Paul, and I are back in the booth with the call. The Rays and the Yankees. It all starts tomorrow at 6. It's only on Yes. Well, Mike Scioscia makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And he will bring in his lefty specialist, Hisanori Takahashi. Those are the numbers: 48 2/3 innings, 42 hits, 19 walks, and 41 strikeouts. And he's going to face Eric Chavez with runners on first and second. Chatwood was pitching well through 5, but then an infield single by Jeter and a 2-run home run by Granderson tied the game, and now runners on first and second with 1 out. So 8 hits, 2 runs. The runners on base his responsibility, and 102 pitches. Yankees with 8 hits, the Angels with 5. Chavez was intensely walked in the second, grounded to short in the 4th. Foul back. A couple of milestone home runs on this day many years ago. 1929, Babe Ruth hit his 500th home run. And in 1979, Reggie Jackson hit his 400th home run. And in 2011, Curtis Granderson hit his 32nd of the year. Nice block there by Wilson. What happened with the M&M boys on this day? 42 for Roger, 44 for Mickey. Babe Ruth had 37 through 113 games of the 27 season. Now, Mickey was on pace to also pass the 60 home run mark, but then he got hurt in September and kind of ceded the race to Roger Maris.
You think it would have been accepted a lot better if Mickey would have done it instead of Roger? Because he was so well loved?
Yes.
Yeah.
From everything you read, people wanted Mickey to do it. They felt that Roger was not a true Yankee. They got him in a trade with the Kansas City A's and kind of an interloper. His teammates loved him, though. Mantle, you find out later, really liked him a lot.
Thinking about it, Mantle towards the end of the year had an abscessed hip, and he didn't play in the World Series against Cincinnati that year, but the Yankees won that series 4-1. But you're right, it did. Towards the end, Mantle had been a lifelong Yankee. And wow, what a great summer that was. The Yankees had a lot of guys hitting home runs that year. Set the all-time record. That lasted quite a few years. Mickey Mantle and Maris were not alone. Yogi, Elston Howard, Johnny Blanchard. Moose Skowron.
2-2. Strike 3. Chavez down looking. Good sequence there for Takahashi.
Takahashi really locked up Chavez on this breaking ball. This is what you see. We talked about matchups from the bullpen, and you see Mike Scioscia on his way back out again for another one.
So he had Takahashi just to do this against Chavez. Breaking ball clips the outside corner, so now Scioscia is going to go for a right-hander with Nunez up. Yankees trying to take the lead. It's 2-2 game. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Well, Mike Scioscia mixing and matching. So the inning starts with Chatwood, then on to Takahashi, and now Fernando Rodney. 30 games, 2-3, 3.60. He has 3 saves, 18 hits, and 15 walks. Too many walks in 25 innings and 21 strikeouts. And he'll face Nunez here with Teixeira at second and Swisher at first. Well, CC Sabathia wears his cap slightly askew. But Fernando Rodney wears his cap almost like Hunts Hall and the Bowery Boys. It's pointing toward first base.
You know what? When he's up there, when he's on the mound and looking towards home plate, you have a feeling he's looking right at the outside corner if you're a right-handed hitter.
Rodney came in the other night, gave up a huge hit to Derek Jeter. 2-run single, and ended up tying it up. Got behind in the count and then went to the fastball, and Derek drove it into right center field. Trying to bounce back from that outing.
And there's a strike to Eduardo Nunez. Good job with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 350 hitter. You know, there was some concern when the Yankees had Nunez make the team as the backup infielder, because he's not thought of as a utility guy. He's thought of as a starter. And people were wondering, well, would this slow his growth? But he's played so much. This has been a perfect season for him. He's gotten a lot of at-bats, and it's not slowing his growth at all.
I think getting out on the field day in and day out is going to help you grow anything. You know, he's not natural at other positions, but he's getting better. But, you know, these situations are what really is going to build him. You know, situations where he has big at-bats, try to drive in runs. The more times you go through this, the easier it gets.
Looks like the Yankees will go with Soriano rather than send Colon out. Colon was at 91 pitches. Swing and a miss, so Rodney strikes out Nunez. So Scioscia's maneuvering with the bullpen works out. But the Yankees do tie the score. 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 left. Let's go to the 7th. Of hope we remember. Relive the touching moments and inspirational stories as the Yankees organization makes dreams come true for some of their most deserving fans. Hope Week Remembered premieres tomorrow at 11, only on Yes. On the Cadillac scoreboard, Yankees and the Angels tied at 2. Now, Joe Girardi had Bartolo Colon warm up, but then comes and takes the ball. Bartolo has a smile, but he's not going to get a win today. Just lowered his ERA a tad. They call on Soriano to pitch the 7th. Stay right here.
To being here in the new surroundings. I can't really tell you because he did throw some good games before he got hurt, and we saw him as high as 95 before he got hurt. But it is nice to have him back because I think it really strengthens our bullpen.
Joe Girardi's talking about that man, Rafael Soriano, on in relief of Bartolo Colon. He came on yesterday, bases loaded, nobody out. Got a double play and a pop-up to left. 5 perfect innings for Soriano since coming up the DL, and this is the first time we'll get a look at him on back-to-back days, although he only threw 4 pitches last night.
He's facing a hitter in Borgios, who's an excellent bunter. He's got 10 bunt base hits, and that's quite a high total for a right-handed hitter, so it's obviously he has worked on his craft. And using his speed. As you would expect with Borgios at the plate leading off an inning, they're guarding against the bunt with Teixeira and Chavez at the corners. But the second, look at Cano. I mean, he's halfway. I mean, usually you're back a lot further than that, guarding against a push bunt.
You surprised they took out Colon? Coming off a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th, pitch count under 100.
In a way, but maybe feeling that the time was right. I mean, the manager's supposed to know his pitchers and his team better than anybody else, right? And when to make the moves.
That one's popped up. Cano drifts back, makes the play for the first out. So they retire a dangerous batter in Borgios.
Colon, because of this rotation thing, has 5 days now before he starts again.
Yep. No, they're not going to do the 6-man anymore. So he's got 4 days. Yeah.
Oh, he's only got 4.
After Sunday, Joe says they have to make a decision, and you wonder. A.J. Burnett's last start is part of that decision. Now he can't improve upon it, so I would think that the battle is now between A.J. and Phil Hughes, and that puts a lot of emphasis on what Phil Hughes does on Saturday. There's a strike. Let's see, Colon pitched today, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday. Well, with Hughes in the mix, because they still have the 6th man, maybe he would get an extra day rest his next time out. But Joe has not tipped his hand how he's going to map out next week on the road.
Well, last time Hughes was under the gun in the start in Chicago, he didn't give up any runs.
Hammered foul.
That was in a rain-shortened game. Still, he kept the White Sox off the board and was very impressive in doing so.
Ended up taking the loss Sunday in relief. Came in the 10th inning and gave up the run to the Red Sox. The 0-2 pitch high.
Soriano got a huge double play yesterday, right out of the pen fastball. Then he got it with a breaking ball. So he's not afraid to throw that breaking ball.
Grounded in the hole and off the glove of Nunez, and it trickles into left field. So a base hit for Bobby Wilson.
It's not always how hard you hit him, Kenny, but where you hit him. This ball just out of the reach of Nunez.
With Wilson running, if he came up with it, been interesting to see if he could get the ball across the diamond to get him.
Yeah, the shortstops always know when the catchers are running. That's when you get to make the highlight reel, right? A little extra time.
Here's Ibar. Broke an 0 for 30 slide with an infield single to third base in the 5th. And that preceded Kai Ospo's 2-run home run. There's a strike. That single by Wilson, the first base runner allowed by Soriano since he came off the DL.
Talked about Ibar breaking up that 0 for 30. Now, what do you do from there? You're 1 for your last 1. Is it a new lease on life?
Swing and miss. Soriano has a very, very calm demeanor on the mound. Doesn't show much emotion. Popped up. Granderson battling the sun, and he's called off by Gardner. Gardner had a better angle, I guess, and cut in front of the center fielder to make the play.
A really good play by Gardner. Knowing where the sun field is very important. Gardner got over there and read Granderson having a little problem and just called him off. You see Curtis Granderson right there. Gardner, because of the angle that he's coming at, the sun not affecting him. Good job.
As the afternoon moves along, the left fielder's the one who's going to have the problem.
All of a sudden you'll see Granderson running over there to try to help out Gardner.
There's a strike to Kai Ospo. Kai Ospo was 2 for 3 against Cologne.
Look, Yogi say gets late early out there.
There's a strike.
One thing I've been impressed with Soriano, his ability to change speeds on his breaking ball. You take something off, add a little, get a hitter out in front like he did with Ibar there, got him to pop up the breaking ball. And he's got a pretty good fastball you always have to be aware of.
High fly ball center field. Granderson sees this one, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 7th. So another scoreless inning for Soriano. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base at the end of 6.5 time for the 7th inning stretch here in New York. But we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
As we remember the servicemen and women serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Cadillac scoreboard 2-8-0 Yanks and 2-6-0 for the Angels. Fernando Rodney got the final out of the 6th inning, and he's going to stay in and pitch the 7th against Cervelli, Gardner, and Jeter. 9-1-2 in the Yankee order. Pair of home runs, the only scoring. Kai Aspo's 2-run shot and Granderson's 2-run shot. Cervelli is grounded to third twice in this game. And thinks bunt, but takes a strike on the outside corner.
Remember Rodney with Detroit, I mean, he's got an unbelievable changeup, but to get to it, you know, you've got to pitch ahead. Talked about the big hit he gave up to Derek Jeter. He was behind in the count. Today he's getting ahead, allowing that changeup to become part of the mix.
1-1. David Robertson up in the Yankee bullpen as Girardi using his formula now of Soriano, Robertson, and then Rivera. Pitch outside. Scott Downs, the left-hander, the other left-hander of the bullpen, warming for the Angels.
So I think Takahashi, the other lefty we just saw, he was even mentioned at being that 5th starter for a while.
3-1 count now on Cervelli. You don't want to lose Cervelli. And the 3-1. A strike.
Once in a while, as a hitter, you try to talk that umpire into calling that ball in.
Popped up. Wilson gives it a look.
I just saw a grown man hit the deck for a baseball right there.
Now he's all cut. Hey, looking at the elbow.
And no ball.
No, he got the ball.
He did?
Yeah, bruise and a ball.
All right, well, it was worth it.
3-2, and he does get the walk. So a walk to start the 7th. Hey, you could vote along with us for today's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772, or you can vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Bartolo Colon, number 2, Curtis Granderson, number 3, Alberto Callaspo, number 4, Derek Jeter. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. We might not even have seen the player of the game yet.
I'm just saying, in a 2-2 game, bottom of the 7th, big star still out there, I think.
There could be a seismic change in these last couple of weeks.
You know, with the Walker Cervelli, Mike was right. You didn't want to lose him because it opens up all kinds of possibilities here. A bunt for Gardner is not an ordinary sacrifice bunt because you have to hustle to get him at first.
Shows bunt. Pitch high.
Now you got the infield moving in all sorts of directions. Remember, Cervelli has stolen 4 bases without being caught this year. The Yankee catchers, he and Russell Martin, are 12-1, so they can run a little bit. You might want to change things up, put a hit and run on. I still think he's bunting, but all kinds of possibilities here.
He bunts it straight up in the air, but Wilson can't get there.
Good hustle by Wilson, but this one didn't have that much air time. Not a good attempt by Gardner. Wilson, for all he's worth, yeah, he can't get to it.
Doesn't it seem to you that he's not sacrificing? He's trying to bunt for a hit. Not really squaring.
Yeah, there's a difference, and you know, in a sacrifice position, you do. I mean, you're giving yourself up. You're not trying to get that ball down and get out of the box.
A drag bunt. Trumbo fields, and they do get Gardner, so Cervelli advances to second. Score that sack, 3-4.
Yeah, Brett Gardner pulls it with him. It's an easy play for most, but Brett Gardner, you don't want to mishandle that ball or anything. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense, even on the sacrifice bunt.
Well, the other night we mentioned that Jeter hits Rodney pretty well.
Russell Martin going to head out there to pinch a run here.
How? Well, I don't quite get that.
I don't know if Cervelli not feeling well.
He's not feeling well now.
strutting off the field.
I would say in a match race, Cervelli probably beats Martin, but that's a little odd. And even if, let's say they're even, you haven't gained anything by that. But we will find out. And Kim Jones works the clubhouse a little bit later on.
Jeter 5 for 8 against Rodney. There's a base open with 1 out, but you got Granderson up next. What do you do? Pitch him carefully.
Tell you what, when the guy behind you is in his 30s and home run and has hit 4 in this series, I think you battle Jeet, and then you kind of pitch around Granderson if you have to.
Yeah, you're getting to the heart of the order here.
Also, one other thing that you're changing here or challenging, he's been hot of late since July 30th. You've just used your only other catcher. Posada, of course, is an emergency catcher, but he hasn't caught all year. 1-0. 2-0. Socia is working the umpire, Mike Winters. Butcher comes out to talk with Rodney. So a 2-0 count on Jeter, a guy who owns Rodney.
Rodney's another one of those guys. You see that ball's in. Another one of those guys that would just drive you crazy as a manager. Tops out at the high 90s, great changeup, good slider, but just has trouble commanding location-wise, where pitching ahead. He walks way too many people.
Go ahead runs at second. Count 3-0. The big movie is Captain America, Captain of the Yankees. Oh, they love me. That's nice.
That's what I was going to say. I knew you were going to see that little bottom.
You know, it took me to write it in the last second.
The fine print.
Yeah.
Look out.
And Jeter works a 4-pitch walk, so a good day for Jeter. He's been on base all 4 times.
It's like he didn't want any part of it. Almost did, Bill.
Now we're going to see Scott Downs against Granderson. Granderson's really hurt the Angels in this series. 4 hits, 4 home runs, and he has a 2-run home run in this afternoon's game. Game's tied at 2. Sosa's trying to keep it there with Downs. This series finale, including the latest from around baseball. Plus, Joe Girardi's post-game comments, and Kimberly Jones will get the reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the post-game, and that's only on Yes. Scott Downs, great numbers. 33 base runners in 38 1/3 innings and 22 strikeouts. Great ERA, 1.41. And we saw him in Friday's game.
Good curveball, has to pitch ahead to get to it, but Curtis Granderson knows that.
My days are all fouled up, so I'm in Tuesday's game.
You a little mixed up?
No, because it's a day game, so I'm thinking it's Sunday.
Yeah, I'm a little confused myself. I'm thinking we're in the pregame here.
So Granderson against Downs. Big spot in this game. Pitch outside. Granderson hit a towering home run to right field. Not that it was towering deep, it was towering high. And it fooled Torrey Hunter, who kept drifting back, and then it was in the seats. Granderson 0 for 10 lifetime against Downs. Great breaking ball for a strike. That's the one Downs wants to get over.
These are the type of guys they bring in to face you, Paul.
Yeah, you know when you come in to face a lefty and, you know, ball one with a breaking ball and you go right back to it, you have a lot of faith that you can throw that for a strike, and you can throw a good one too.
Throws another one. Check swing and the count 2-1.
Was it Jesse or Roscoe you got to face at least 3 times a series?
Every single day.
They just wait for you to come up in a key situation.
Used to hope that you'd blow them out so they wouldn't bring him in. They'd still get him up. It didn't matter.
It's a sling the ball a little bit like Downs does.
Really tough to pick up.
Two one. Now 2-2.
You know, fastball count, fastball. He got his fastball. The only thing is, it's the first time you've seen it in the count. So, you know, nothing to really time. Everything's been breaking ball. So Downs gets away with it up in the zone. Borderline pitch. Now he's back where he can go to either one. Try to strike out with a fastball, fool him, or that big old breaking ball.
And it's the big old breaking ball as Granderson swings and misses. So now he is 0 for 11 lifetime against Downs.
You can be assured that Mike Scioscia is aware of that, when to bring him in. Granderson up with a chance to put the Yankees in the lead, and he says, no, this is a guy you're 0 for 11 against. You're going to see him right now.
Now Teixeira is 1 for 11 against Downs.
Talking about a guy you bring out of the bullpen in the heart of the Yankee order that shut down 2 guys, 1 for 22 combined.
And that's the 3-4 batters too he shut down. Pinch runner Martin leads off second. Jeter leads off first. Those are the numbers we told you about. Now Winters is pretty much telling Scioscia to keep his mouth shut. Scioscia works the umpires from that top step. You could hear Winters from up here and go, okay, enough. The 1-0. There's a strike.
You know, most guys yell from the dugout, you know, where is that pitch? Where, and you know, the rule is you can't argue strikes and balls, but shouldn't the umpire have to say, hey, the ball's down or the ball's away? No, they want to tell you to shut up, or the next time they'll tell you to go to the clubhouse.
Chop towards second. This Torres drops the ball. So that'll be an E4 to keep the inning alive.
Well, it looked like he looked up just before he caught the ball. Watch this. He's going to get there, not follow the ball into the glove, and all of a sudden he doesn't have it. He couldn't have got a better hop than that one. If he had missed it altogether, would have hit him right in the chest. There's Russell Martin rounding third, and the inning's going to continue.
You see, most times as a runner from second, you round third and just continue to go in because you expect him to make that play to first. And if he does make the throw to first and it's offline, then you'll score. Russell Martin uses that slide to stop himself.
So Martin, Jeter, and Teixeira, and that's going to bring up Cano. So Downs thinks he's in the dugout. Now he has to face Cano, who also does not have good numbers against him. 5 for 25.
25 at bats off one lefty from the pen. That's a lot.
Yeah, he was in Toronto at one time.
Yeah.
Of his 5 hits against Downs, 3 of them doubles. Rounded, foul.
If you were as a tourist standing out at second base, you got your fingers crossed on both hands. Downs can get out of this.
The 0-1. Drilled to right field. There it goes. See ya. A grand slam for Robinson Cano. And the E4 really kills the Angels as the Yankees lead 6-2.
Well, number 20 comes right on time. Off the facing of the second deck. Now, the first ball he swung at, he pulled foul. He hit that one well. And then he comes in with another fastball, and Cano doesn't miss this one.
You know, it's funny. He pitched Granderson with all breaking balls other than one. Well, he went back-to-back with fastballs. Tried to get in on Robbie.
No one feels worse than Meiser Isturiz. His 5th career grand slam for Robinson Cano. So 20 home runs now, has 81 runs batted in. And Mike Scioscia will go to the bullpen again. Yankees lead by 4. Third hit, and it was a resounding blast, a grand slam, and moments ago he got a curtain call here on a Thursday matinee.
Curtain call at the matinee show.
Now, Scott Downs obviously should not have had to face Cano, but that doesn't mean that you have to give up a grand slam. So the pitcher wants to pick up his fielder. He couldn't do that. But Isturiz obviously booted a ball that would have been the end of the inning and wouldn't have had to face Cano until the 8th. Look at the series he's had against the Angels. 7 for 12, a double, a triple, 2 homers, and 6 runs batted in. Yeah, I'd smile too. No smile there. So Bobby Cassava comes on to face Nick Swisher. And there's a base hit, broken bat base hit. So Swisher keeps the inning alive.
Nick Swisher's on deck thinking bases loaded, get a hit, Robbie, all of a sudden grand slam. Now you throw a hit out, he's already cleaned everybody off the bases. You got to start it all over again.
Those are the numbers on Cassava. 11 walks and 17 2/3. So Downs just having a great year. Serves up a grand slam to Cano. He comes on to get Granderson, strikes him out. Teixeira 1 for 11 against him, and he gets him to ground ball a second, and that should have been the end of the inning, but it was booted by Meiser Isturiz, and that allowed Cano to get the swing that he would not have gotten that inning. And he made Downs pay. Foul back by Eric Chavez.
You know, extra outs cost you extra runs. Not always 4 extra runs, but You give a good team, especially late in the game with one of your better hitters, if not your best hitter up, bad things happen with 4 outs instead of 3.
Yeah, he's not the guy you want coming up to the plate in this series. You've seen enough of him already. Some kind of special player.
With his 3 hits, he's up to 303. Raised his average 4 points. The 2-1. Fouled away. And the 2-2 to Chavez. Lined right at the third baseman, Callaspo, who drops it, and he goes the short way to get the force on Swisher. But the Yankees take the lead, and they take it with 1 swing off the facing of the second deck, right near the word power. Power pays, a grand slam for Cano. 6-2 Yanks. On deck, presented by Blimpie, as home run hitter Curtis Granderson teaches the art of the at-bat. Plus, follow the guy who just hit the grand slam, Robinson Cano, as he goes through media day at spring training. You also get training tips from Mark Teixeira. It's a new Yankees on Deck, Sunday at noon, only on Yes. So Robinson Cano with his 20th home run, 5th career grand slam. And he now has 81 runs batted in, and David Robertson comes on, and he will try to hold it right here in the 8th inning. Right now, the pitcher of record for the Yankees is Rafael Soriano, and the pitcher of record for the Angels is Fernando Rodney, who started that mess in the 7th with the 2 walks. Walks and errors do not help. Hyundai scoreboard 6-2, Yankees lead. It'll be Abreu, Hunter, and Trumbo against Robertson. Abreu 0 for 3. And a strike. Another strike. Russell Martin behind the plate. Remember, he pinch ran for Cervelli.
Got the jog in, too. Didn't even have to use speed. Those grand slams just let you just coast around.
I like being on third base when somebody else hit a grand slam because you get the best look at it.
You get to watch it.
Oh, I saw Reggie hit one in Chicago, stand on third base, hit one in the upper deck in right field at Old Comiskey. It was still going up when it hit the seat.
Rounded up the middle. Nunez gets Abreu for the first out.
We're going to go look at Russell Martin's perspective at third. Now he sees it hit. Well, he knew right away. That's it. We put the arm down, find home plate. There it is. Step on.
That's going to bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey singled in the second inning, kept alive. His hitting streak is now 9 straight. So he's 1 for 2. That single, a walk, and a ground ball to second. Shows bunt, takes a strike.
See Robertson just pumping fastballs in there. 4-run lead. A lot of times you can get away with that by just throwing fastballs when everybody has seen his breaking ball.
See what the Yankees have done against the West. The West and the National League, the Yankees have dominated. Pitch is high.
Horace Greeley was right. Go West, young man.
Who was that?
Horace Greeley.
Horace Greeley.
Yeah, they said that a long time ago when the country was being, populated out west.
Oh, yeah, I know why we went west. I just didn't know who said it.
It was palm trees and nice weather.
Yeah.
Yankees go west one more time this year. They'll go to Seattle and Anaheim in September. That one is chopped to short. Nunez right there. And gets Hunter for the second out. Big crowd here at the stadium, 47,431 on Thursday afternoon. Can't ask for a better day to do anything, but it seems like a particularly nice day for baseball.
You see the winds just out of the sails of the Angels. I mean, here they are in a 2-2 game, and all of a sudden a mishandled ball, and in the blink of an eye you're down by 4 late in the game. It just you see their hitters, just their eyes have changed. Everything, and they're looking forward to getting out of town, getting on to the next city. Yankees are playing too well right now.
They're going to Toronto.
We got a good game here tomorrow. It's going to be the Yankees against the Rays. It's going to be CeCe against Price. David Price.
I stuck around for that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't want to have to buy a ticket, so I thought I'd just work it.
Trumbo swings and misses 1-2. And again, no one feels worse than Meiser Asturias, who kept that inning alive and allowed Cano to get that free swing. One-two. And after the game, the Yankees are not leaving the field. We're not televising it, but it's family day, so
is that
everyone
right?
comes out. There's a picnic. The kids play some ball.
You and I, we're going to go down there. We've always threatened to go out and play a little game, have a little catch. You and I are going down today.
All right.
Yeah.
You really have nothing to do.
You got your glove?
I'll go get one. I'll borrow one.
No, he heard picnic. That's what he's going to do.
There's got to be a barbecue involved.
There
right?
is. The 1-2. Missed outside. Again, foul back. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Trumbo 0 for 3 today. He could not hold up on the breaking ball in the dirt. The ball gets away from Martin, but they're saying he did hold up. Mike Everett said he held up. Martin was ready to throw it to first. I'm sure we'll get a look. From up here, it looked like he swung.
Well, it looked like Winters called it.
Now really, he might have hit that into the gap.
Oh, what? Oh, he pointed. I thought he had rung him up with his right hand.
We've had some very odd check swing calls go the wrong way against both teams in this series. One against Abreu in the first game that was just awful. The 3-2. High drive, deep left. Backing up is Gardner. He has room, and he puts it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning for David Robertson and the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees leading this one 6-2 on Yes. WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper discusses Alex Rodriguez and what his return could mean for the final stretch of the season. Plus, Joe recaps this week's series with the Angels and the Rays. It's a new Joe Girardi Show Sunday at 5 only on Yes. 3 games set for the Yankees against the Rays this weekend, and then 3 games in KC and 4 games in Minnesota against the Twins. Nunez swings at the first pitch and grounds it up the middle. And Ibar makes the play for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out.
You talk about Nunez and how well he's done. I mean, you can tell his at bats. I mean, he's not trying to aim the bat. He's swinging. I mean, he makes an out there, but all these at bats are going to help him down the road.
Hyundai scoreboard 6-2 Yankees lead. Grounded slowly to Ibar. And he will get Martin. Back to the top of the lineup, and Brett Gardner. Corey Wade warming for the Yankees. With a 4-run lead, they don't want to go to Mariano. Tomorrow's outing is interesting. You have Sabathia wants to bounce back from a subpar performance against the Red Sox, and this is Price's return to the stadium after giving up the home run to Jeter for his 3,000th hit. Casava is the 5th pitcher used by Mike Scioscia.
So far, that had to be your biggest day of the year for you as an announcer. 3,000 hits, 5 for 5.
It was a fun day.
Yeah.
Fun day.
David Price on the hill, jam-packed Yankee Stadium.
I think it was actually, I might be wrong, I think it was a bigger day for Derek.
Think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just called it. He did it.
Did he get the ball or did you?
He got the ball.
Well, Christian Lopez gave him the ball.
Right.
Okay. All I know is when I see the replay, I hear you in the background. Hooting and hollering.
It was a great call.
Thank you.
See, we got people agreeing how great a call it was.
It was.
It was a greater hit.
I just happened to turn the TV on at that time.
Fate, right?
Yep. And when Derek was up, I wasn't aware of the fact that he already had 1 hit. And I was sitting with my son Dante, and I said, he's already got a hit. And he said, how can you tell? I said, I can tell in Michael's voice. This is it.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. And sure enough, he just walked in the door.
And Derek kicked the door down.
Yeah, he did. Set off a celebration. Not only in my house, but in many houses.
Right.
That was the end of a perfect vacation right there.
Here's the 2-2 to Gardner. How's that looking at you, Paul?
You know what? I don't notice those things when I'm doing a baseball game,
Right.
Michael. Only you.
Okay, I'll play along.
Get your mitts on it.
Hey, get your mitts off my bird.
Yeah.
And the 3-2 to Gardner. And he works a walk. And the last time the Rays were in town was July 9th. Last time Price pitched here at Yankee Stadium, July 9th. And here is that moment. And as Paul said, he got it in the State Farmville.
Tip of the hat from the first baseman. You see Kochman. I mean, other players remember things like that. They're huge milestones.
And here's Derek. Perfect day for him. 3 for 3 with a walk. 2 runs scored. And on July 9th, he was 5 for 5. And the game-winning hit. You couldn't have scripted it any better. Derek is the average at 276.
Derek's doing much more of the DH role here. I think Joe's, with Nunez able to play different positions, he'll see it a long stretch. And has he talked much about it?
Well, Joe said he's going to, the next week or so, he's going to use a lot of the DH spot to rest Derek and Cano.
When A-Rod comes back, to not get him out in the field too many days in a row.
Foul back. I think Derek would rather be playing shortstop.
Yeah.
But
maybe Teixeira, an occasional day where he doesn't play first.
It's an adjustment more, to guys in Derek's case that have played every single day. And all of a sudden, it takes a little getting used to. Not used to sitting on the bench with all that idle time.
Runner goes, pitch out, throw to second, and they finally break Gardner's streak. He had stolen 22 straight bases without being caught, but a pitch out catches him to end the 8th inning. So the Angels guess right. A perfect throw by Wilson, and the tag is applied, and we go to the 9th. They need 3 more outs. They're up 6-2 thanks to the home run grand slam by Robinson Cano. That came in the 7th inning. All those runs unearned, but they all count. Corey Wade comes on to try to get those 3 outs. This will be his 20th game. Outstanding pickup for the Yankees. And he will face Vernon Wells to start off the 9th inning. And a strike. Swing and a miss. He pounds the strike zone. All he does is throw strikes. He doesn't have overpowering stuff. His fastball about 89, 90, but mixes in a good breaking ball. Off-speed stuff is very effective. And this is exhibit number 10,000 that you don't have to throw 98 miles an hour. And you shouldn't be afraid of locating an 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Just missed that. Count 2-2.
Talk about Bartolo Colon being such a surprise. A couple guys in the bullpen too. Joe Girardi, beginning of the year, would have never thought that he'd be in this position.
Swing and a miss.
See Vernon Wells. It's absolutely lost at the plate. You know, behind the fastball, has been jammed a couple times, waving at the curveball there. Usually that means your head's moving and you're just not following the baseball.
1 for 12 in this series.
Yeah, you mentioned the bullpen, and Joe Girardi took over the Yankees in 2008. Mariano's getting up just in case, a couple base runners, and he's got a lot of strengths obviously as a manager, but that is his strength. He works a bullpen better than anyone you've seen in a while, because what the Yankees do is they build the bullpen as the year goes on. And you can look at the Yankee bullpen at the beginning of the year and go, wow, that's a weakness, and then it turns out being a strength. This year, it started out as a strength, then they lost Job and they lost Soriano, and Girardi didn't skip a beat. He uses them judiciously. There's a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. for Maisa Isturiz, who is 2 for 4.
Yeah, one thing they found out, though, that guys like Robertson can step up from the 6th or 7th inning, become a very reliable 8th inning type pitcher. And, you know, as Joe said, when people get hurt, others have to step up. And Robertson was one of the guys who really did. And you give the Yankee scouting and department, finding guys like Corey Wade.
Look at Robertson, the way the year ended last year. I mean, in the playoffs, Nelson Cruz hit a huge home run off of him in Texas. I mean, you go home and think about that the whole offseason, and all of a sudden you bounce back. You have a great year. You're an all-star breakout year. Now you're the 8th inning guy setting up for the world's best closer. So, I mean, you either turn the page or you dwell on what has happened, and he turned the page quick.
Peter Borges will hit one down the left field line. Isturiz is going to stop at third. Borges is at second with a double, and that's probably going to bring Mariano into this game. Now they're going to check at first base. They think that Borges missed first. And now Teixeira's waving him off because I guess Mike Everett said don't bother, he touched first. But they were telling him to appeal. Let's see. He did get the corner.
I think because he stumbled, that's why they were thinking about an appeal.
Well, Joe Girardi is going to call on Mariano Rivera. Rivera had a rough outing on Tuesday. How does he bounce back today? Wade leaves. Mo comes in with a save opportunity. Yankees up by 4. With one out here in the 9th inning, and that makes this a save opportunity. That means the tying run is on deck. So they bring in Mariano Rivera, and those are the numbers on Mo. His ERA is now up to 2.23, 39 hits and 5 walks and 44 in a third innings. So his whip is still under 1. 39 strikeouts. He's trying to pick up his 30th save, and Mo's trying to stop a streak of 2 bad outings. He blew the save in Boston on Sunday, and then with a tie game in the 9th inning on Tuesday, he gave up that 2-run home run to Bobby Abreu as the Yankees lost that one 6-4. So pinch hitter for Bobby Wilson is going to be Russell Branyan against Rivera. High fly ball, right field. Swisher back. He's on the track. See ya! A 3-run pinch hit home run for Russell Branyan. And the Angels now trail the Yankees by just 1. 1 pitch and a home run to Branyan. Similar in scope to Curtis Granderson's, a very high fly ball that carried out to right.
Well, Russell Branyan's got all types of power. There's the cutter on the inner half. We've seen him hit some long home runs here at Yankee Stadium. This was high and about 5 or 6 rows back. Pinch hit homer.
Here's Ibar, and there's a strike. Rivera has 5 blown saves this season, and that matches his total from all of last year, but all of them have been on the road. So he's been perfect in saves here at home. And still could be if he gets these 2 outs. There's a strike.
Mariano taking that cutter outside to the lefty, which you don't see very often.
Well, maybe it's not behaving the last few times out because it hasn't had that sharp break to it.
Chop towards second. Cano is there. And the Angels are down to their final out. And that'll leave it up to Callaspo. And Paul, you like the at-bat Callaspo had against Rivera on Tuesday.
He did. He got a cutter that was up, and he was able to turn and keep it, strong enough to drive it over Cano's head.
Mo wants to end it right here because Bobby Abreu lurks on deck. Abreu got him on Tuesday. Branyan hurts the Yankees. He had 6 home runs against the Yankees last year.
Russell Martin has gone away against these lefties. Throwing that cutter away. It's ended up at the middle of the plate, but it's getting more action than the one that he's starting on the inside corner right now.
Down 2-1.
Sit there for 8 innings, get pinch hit call. The phone rings, get up there 1 pitch and hit it out of the ballpark. Is it that easy?
Popped up, left side, and it makes the seats. So 1 strike away. What's left of the crowd of 47,431 looking for the final out. And the 2-2. Slice the other way, giving chase is Gardner, and he makes the play to end the game. Brett Gardner, covering a lot of ground, made the play on the run, and the Yankees hold on to win this one 6-5. So Mariano made it sweaty, giving up a 3-run home run to Russell Branyan, but Brett Gardner ended it with the running catch in left field and a foul ball, and ball, glove, and wall arrive at the same time, and Gardner holds on. And Joe Girardi watching it, perfect angle, and he likes what he sees as the Yankees beat the Angels in this series 2-1, and they win 6-5 today. Mariano picks up his 30th save, 589th of his career. He's 11 away from 600. We want you to stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. So the way it turned out, the Yankees needed all 4 runs from the grand slam of Robinson Cano. And the Yankees win the last 2 games of this series. The Angels have been used to winning series 13-1-1 in their last 15 series coming into this one against the Yankees. And after they won the first game, they had to feel good about making it 14-1-1, but not to be. Joe Girardi manages to get his team 2 victories. The bullpen does the job for the most part. Again, made a little anxious, but they win the game by a score of 6-5. And down on the field is Kimberly Jones with Robinson Cano. Kim?
I am Michael. Robbie, crazy ending to that game. Balls flying all over this ballpark today.
I mean, this is the ballpark. If you get a good swing and you hit it high, it's going to go.
Let's talk about your good swing, your big swing. The Angels give you an extra out there. The bases are loaded, 2 outs. What's your approach?
Oh, my brother was just, the day before he got me all the way in, and I said I'm not going to let him get me out the same way. And good thing I make a good swing, and he left a little bit on the play.
Were you thinking at all about hitting a grand slam?
No, I'm just trying to get a hit, so we can go ahead and then bring Mariano in the game.
How about this great series that you had and this team had, winning 2 of 3 against the Angels, who are in the wild card race, but you separated yourselves a little bit more?
Well, it's like I say, we always trying to play hard and win a game. And our approach been good. Brown has been awesome the whole year. Teixeira, the whole thing is contribute right now.
Before I let you go, how about that curtain call? That's always a cool thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's always a cool thing.
Thank you, Robinson. Michael.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you, Robinson. Indeed, this is how the game ended. A very nice play by Brett Gardner. Statistically, he's the best left fielder in baseball, and he showed it right there, getting the final out of the game, the hold-up. Robinson Cano's grand slam. Yankees win 6-5. We'll be back.